Good morning. Welcome to Shawnee Mission Unitarian Universalist Church. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here. We are so happy that you have chosen this sanctuary and time. That you're here is something to celebrate. We extend an especially warm welcome to our visitors. We'll be waiting to chat with you at the welcome desk after the service. Remember, we were all newcomers once, and if you're joining us online, please say hi in the chat. We now invite everyone to rise and greet each other.
Ellie, you're a natural girl.
Yeah, okay.
This is so chaotic, and you are doing so great. And what matters most is that the people are here together.
Yeah.
Take breaths.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Now you're off for a long time. Why don't you go read your reading?
Okay, so this is
all me. Good morning. I have some very exciting news. For the first time, 8 mainline denominations have issued an interfaith collective statement of support of trans, non-binary, and intersex people, affirming that they deserve respect, love, and equal rights, and it was authored by Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, our president. This took huge effort on the part of our UUA staff, and I'm so grateful to them for doing it, and denominations are still signing on. And now we have an announcement from Micah Rose.
Good morning, y'all. Gosh, it's so full in here. It's so good to see you. So how many of you remember Tell in the Fall? So many. Okay, good. So it's where we work to make our faith community as diverse and resilient as the beautiful Kansas tall grass prairie. So we are holding a focus meeting this Sunday, immediately after service from 11:45 to 1. Rev Rose will be leading a special engaging circle designed to help us clear the air, reconnect with our shared principles, and recenter our community priorities for the year ahead. So just kind of think of it as a little spiritual tune-up for our systemic work. We need your voice and your energy to keep this initiative going strong. Hi, I'm back. Coming soon, the Night Owl's Solstice Secret. Join us for a magical community performance created by the music and RE departments, open to everyone ages 0 to 102. Now, I said 102 and I realize there are some folks who might be 103. I just want you to rest at 103. I just want you to chill, relax, come see the show. So quickly, here's the story. Luna's afraid of the dark, and she's guided by a wise night owl through winter traditions and quiet moments of wonder. Along the way, she discovers the small flame of hope within her heart as the sun's return approaches. So our rehearsals are going to be on Wednesday from 6 to 8. Sorry, did I say Thursday? Wednesdays. Yeah, sorry. Wednesdays from 6 to 8, starting this Wednesday. And our performance, our most amazing performance will be on December 21st in the evening here. So help us bring light, laughter, and solstice magic to one of the longest nights, the longest night of the year. Thank you.
Also, if you're ready to take the next step on your journey of getting involved with SMUUCh, we'd like you to take our starting point class that happens once a month. This is a one-time 2-hour session that is friendly, relaxed, full of snacks, and good conversation. You can expect to share your personal journey with other people. You can expect to share parts of your personal journey that you want to leave behind spiritually and parts of your spiritual journey that you treasure, and then we share about that in an intimate group. And then we also learn about the journey of Unitarian Universalism through history and our own congregation. So if you'd like to do this, please sign up with the link in the email or talk to Forrest outside at the welcome desk. And now this week, you'll notice that we have an altar here to all things natural. Hopefully you've brought something beautiful from nature that inspires you and inspires gratitude in you for the land. Our worship associate today, Ellie Agnew, is one of our youth, and she had a beautiful idea in honor of Thanksgiving to make an altar that is just simply of natural beauty, to show our love for the earth and firmly remind ourselves that throughout our religious heritage, we have held up and been held up by an ethic of land use that tells us that awareness of the interdependent web of life is not just a spiritual discipline, but also an ontological reality. I'm glad you're nodding because that was a very long sentence. Our opening words are from Howard Thurman. He says, there are two questions that we have to ask ourselves. The first is, where am I going? And the second is, who is going with me? And if we ever get those questions in the wrong order, that's how we know we're in trouble. Come, let us worship. Please rise as you're willing and able for our opening hymn, number 349 in the gray hymnal, We Gather Together.
As Quinn comes forward to light our chalice, we invite you to join us as we recite our covenant. Let us affirm that love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. to dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with one another. Last year, our youth group attended a Gaian service where they had a beautiful altar honoring black cats and their valuable history. In their tradition, we invite you all to bring forth what you find sacred about the land, creating an altar that truly represents our community. The gratitude we feel towards the earth is grounding, and together we make an artwork of appreciation. To me, the land is something that is resilient and kind, warm and soft. I share this ritual with you because I find the grass beneath my feet to be just as sacred as the sun above, and the land is something to be cherished. I now invite you to come forward and help us create a beautiful altar in honor of our beautiful earth.
We will now read Gratitude by Mary Oliver over our altar, and we invite you, at Ellie's invitation, to notice a single word that sticks out to you.
What did you notice?
The dew snail, the low-flying sparrow, the bat on the wind, and the dark, big-chested geese, and the V of sleekest performance, the soft toad, patient in the hot sand, the sweet, hungry ants, the uproar of mice in the empty house, the tin music of the cricket's body, the blouse of the goldenrod.
What did you hear?
The thrush greeting the morning, the little bluebirds in their hot box, the salty talk of the wren, then the deep cup of the hour of silence.
When did you admire?
The oaks letting down their dark and hairy fruit, the carrot rising in its elongated waist, the onion, sheet after sheet curved inward to the pale green wand. At the end of the summer, the brassy dust, the almost liquid beauty of the flowers, then the ferns scrawled black by the frost.
What astonished you?
The swallows making their dip and turn over the water.
What would you like to see again?
My dog, her energy and exuberance, her willingness, her language beyond all nimbleness of tongue, her recklessness, her loyalty, her sweetness, her strong legs, her curled black lip, her snap.
What was most tender?
Queen Anne's lace with its parsnip root, the everlasting in its bonnets of wool, the kinks and turns of the Tupelo's body, the tall, blank banks of sand, the clam clamped down.
What was most wonderful?
The sea and its wide shoulders, the sea and its triangles, the sea lying back on its long athlete's spine.
What did you think was happening?
The green beast of the hummingbird, the eye of the pond, the wet face of the lily, the bright puckered knee of the broken oak, the red tulip of the fox's mouth, the upswing, the downpour, the frayed sleeve of the first snow. So the gods shake us from our sleep.
And so the gods shake us from our sleep.
Would all the children come please join me at the front?
Hi. Hi, Evan. Hi, Luke. Hi, Roger. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. Plenty of people. Could we have the slide changed? Ooh.
Did you guys see the aurora borealis this week? No. Okay, well, earlier this week, you could see aurora borealis from our area, which I don't know if you guys know this, but that never happens. It's super rare, and it was a super pretty sight. You could see that from your backyard. So since you didn't see it, let's look at the image. What kind of stuff do you guys notice about it? Colors? That's a good one. It has, the pine trees remind you of Alaska? Yeah. Anyone else? Okay. Well, I am gonna have us all come over to the altar for a moment. Just kind of look at all the things that people brought. What kind of stuff stands out to you here? The deer skull? Yeah, that's a pretty cool one.
Those huge acorns.
The huge acorns? They are pretty big. Lava rock. Oh, that's a cool one.
Sam, what do you see?
Yeah.
This one, I brought it.
Oh, you brought the big stick?
Yeah.
That's a really cool big stick. It does.
Yeah.
The flower that's still alive? Yeah.
If I take my charger.
Well, you can come get it after the service so everyone can admire it.
So not yet.
This is her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not quite yet.
Yes, what do you see?
Oh, that is a really cool piece of wood.
This round thing.
The round thing looks like a mud ball, maybe? It is pretty cool.
It's my dad's.
Yeah.
The giant chunky
Pine cone?
The giant chunky pine cone? Yeah, that one stood out to me too.
I just think all of this stuff here is so this microphone on? Thank you. This is an incredible altar. Some of these things are obviously so precious to people. And now, remembering the poem,
I would like for everyone to just remember the word that stood out to them. And I'm talking to everyone, including the adults. Okay, do we all have our word? I would like for you guys to just call it out. Yeah, well, I mean, there's all sorts of things I just heard because that poem had a lot of cool things. And now I'd like everyone to look back at the picture of the aurora. What's something that, like, now that you've thought about the poem, what's something you didn't notice the first time? The colors are blending really well. Yeah. Looks like watercolor. It looks like a certain what? The flag? A flag? Yeah. You can see the stars in it. Yeah, and there's just a lot of things that you might not have noticed the first time. So I would like for you to, like, kind of keep in mind the stuff that stood out to you the second time you looked at it, and just hold that with you this week. And yeah, you may go to your classes now.
We come to this place to see and be seen, to teach and be taught, to hear and be heard. I invite you to nudge the person sitting next to you, reminding them and yourselves that we are gathered here in peace and in authenticity and in intention. We also come to this place to share our joys and sorrows. We will now turn off our live stream to give our community some privacy in our sharing, and if you have a rare joy or a profound sorrow, please come up and share briefly in 2 to 3 sentences and light a candle. us take a moment to come more fully into this space, however that feels to you. Maybe it's putting your feet flat on the floor, closing your eyes, taking a deep breath. Let us take a moment to deepen and sink into a space of gratitude. Knowing that thanks is given and things are taken, let us take a moment simply to rejoice in the abundance that we have. Letting the corners of your lips turn up, allowing yourself to enjoy a moment. I invite you to turn your attention towards your own embodiment and give yourself some gratitude. And now let us turn our attention to the rest of the day, the future, and identifying something in the rest of the day for which you're grateful. And now let us zoom out and across your whole life. Give yourself a moment just to open and see what might come to you. What are you grateful you've had in your life? I invite you to remain seated and meditating on the things for which we're grateful as we sing our meditative hymn.
Our reading today comes from Dorothy Day. People say, "What is the sense of our small effort?" They cannot see what we must lay one brick at a time, take one step at a time. A pebble cast into a pond causes ripples that spread in all directions. Each one of our thoughts, words, and deeds is like that. No one has the right to sit down and feel hopeless. There is too much work to do.
Maybe it will get cold soon. And we hope it will. For we will be rewarded with sweater weather and a proper seasonal cycle. But we also know that when it does get cold, new risks will be presented to the good people of Kansas City. The winter has long been a dreaded time by anyone who is between housing or struggling to make ends meet. And thus, we weigh the risks and rewards of life. With each passing moment, we are presented with risks and rewards. And this, I feel, is how the gods shake us from our sleep. Recently, I was introduced to a ministry tool called a risk assessment, which is meant to support a congregation in discernment about how much risk to take. It helps the group ask, as a collective, what do we want to risk in order to live into our mission, to live into our belief system, and into our calling? And usually the bigger the reward, the greater the risk one is willing to take. The greater the risk, the higher the reward must be. I'm thinking about this a lot because our shelter, Project 1020, opens in 2 weeks. I'm thinking a lot about this ministry that is just starting to hustle and bustle again straight down this hallway behind me. And I found myself wondering, what do people risk in order to have a place to stay at our shelter? For that sweet reward of a cozy, quilted cot and a hot meal and safety while resting. Perhaps one might risk a job that's far away. One might risk dangerous travel. These questions are in some ways hypothetical or an intellectual exercise, but I think that this is such an important topic for us to think about right now, because this holiday season in particular, for me, is echoing of years past as people went into the holidays in times of reckoning. Our nonfiction book group is currently reading On Tyranny by Timothy Snyder. He's a historian who focuses on authoritarianism in Europe in the 20th century. This book is a bestseller. I have the illustrated version, which is beautiful. It's broken into 20 short chapters, each of which gives a little tip about what to do within the rise of authoritarianism. Using the history of what worked and what didn't work in World War II, he explains the sort of trajectory of how these things happen. And his most poignant point for me was this: to banish the thought, what is the point of my small effort? To notice, when do I think, what is the point? For he says that even the smallest effort of resistance draws a line. And he points out that to actually not draw a line in the sand, to not speak out, allows for it to be normalized at a startlingly greater rate. So, for example, even holding an individual sign on the side of the road keeps the resistance presence and disallows the swift overtaking of an authoritarian government. Or you can imagine on the playground, one person saying no makes a huge difference. For it's said that once an authoritarian government is seated, it takes 18 months for it to take root. Thus, the next 6 months are incredibly important for us to not only be celebrating, but also weighing the risks and rewards that swirl around these things that are so precious to us, that we're thinking about how grateful we are for. Our children, our democracy, our families, the earth, honesty, healthcare, collectivity, equity, anti-racism, mutual aid. I encourage us now to start thinking about what we're going to do over the holidays. To not just think about what we're grateful for, but also in terms of what rewards we really are seeking right now. I'm reminded of the risks that we took when we moved the shelter in down the hallway. Many of you were here. Our 7th season is starting. And this year, not just 30, but 50 people will be kept warm each night in comfort and safety in our church walls. I often am so proud of the reward of the 50 people that I kind of bask in the fact that we as a congregation moved the needle on homelessness in Kansas City, that humanitarianism and universalism were restored. But as I reflect on 7 years ago, it did not come without risks. It was a risky time, for we as a congregation and the shelter undertook risks legally, financially, relationally, socially. We put a lot on the line, but I think we did it because to not put the shelter up was to risk something far more dangerous, our own morality. I bring this up because it's precisely when we're talking about our gratitude that we need to look at those hard lines that we have in front of us, our own lines in the sand. And I want us to think about individually, where is your line in the sand? For example, let's take an example from Thanksgiving. Might you take a risk with your family members and perhaps lay down your sword? Perhaps this is a risk you could easily take because you're secure with your family. Perhaps this is a risk you could never take because your standing with your family is so fragile that to risk it is too great. This is part of the risk assessment. For each of us, the risks are very different depending on our vulnerability. So let's take a moment to consider some risk questions about your own line in the sand. What are the risks that you as an individual are willing to take in order to ensure fair elections? What are the risks that you as an individual are willing to take to ensure that your neighbor's family stays together? There are so many lines in the sand. There are so many questions forcing us to look at the risks versus rewards right now, and I think we really need to take a hard look. And we as a church, what are the risks that institutions are called to take as collective entities to stave off anything that encroaches on our belief systems? For we are headlong now into a season of holiday, a season of tenderness and darkness. And sadly, we also know that this will assuredly be a time of continued difficulty and tensions in our communities. It will be cold soon, bitter and inhumanely cold. So whether you're under a quilt in the shelter, on a cot, or shivering in the car, or in your own cozy bed, as we hunker down into our winter routines of finding warmth and connection amidst this darkest time of year, let us remember that the waning light is natural, and what is truly dark around us is the ongoing threat of authoritarianism. And even this, to speak about, I have taken a risk. We will be tried and pressed harder. It is a risky time, but also a time of very, very high reward. Because for me, the reward of any difficult time is always the opening of liberation, a chance to weave in the fabric of the universe. I think maybe now we can really talk about this stuff. Finally, we'll be able to have the conversations we couldn't have before. Maybe now we can finally understand each other. We can break through some of those burdens that have been so heavy. For me, the reward is the possibility of collective liberation here in our congregation, as well as in Kansas City at large. It is my hope to lead this congregation with so many of our wonderful lay leaders into a deeper dialogue about where our line is, about what is truly important to us as individuals and as a group of powerful, loving people who have already made such a profound impact on Kansas City. So I would like to close in gratitude that all of you are undoubtedly wrestling with these same questions. I want to close in gratitude for all of the support and love that everyone in this room has given to this congregation over time in the millions of ways that you give it. Your presence here is very important to me and very, very important to our community. I'm looking forward to a very generative holiday season. May it be that you and I move in the next 6 months with love, courage, kindness, and wisdom.
The work of the church depends on us, our generosity of time, wisdom, and financial resources. We invite you to give generously to support the ongoing work of the church. The offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation of our shared values.
as Ellie extinguishes the chalice, let us affirm that we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please rise as you're willing and able for our closing hymn, number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth. This week, I invite you to really root down into your gratitude, and from that, give a little bit of thought to what you would risk for your rewards. Go in peace.